Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Well, Saints were back on the practice field for OTAs on Tuesday, and what a surprise it was when Michael Thomas jogged out there during individual drills and took part with his teammates. The word all along has been they're trying to get Michael Thomas ready for training camp, but there they were at OTAs, and to see Michael Thomas on the practice field was fantastic. Let's hear Michael Thomas say it, how it felt being back out there today during OTAs.
Oh, it's a blessing. Anytime I get to put on the Saints uniform and contribute it and put on the 13, the black and gold, just to come out here and be around the guys, the camaraderie, that's what I miss the most. Just talking ball. A lot of guys from my school here. It's like for me, it's the older version of just going to school. I guess really like first day of school. That's kind of what it felt like.
First day of school, kind of what it felt like. It's interesting because we all know with Michael Thomas right now, on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and injuries have derailed that. He's played 10 games over the last 3 seasons. I'll say that out loud. Michael Thomas, after setting the NFL receiving record, single season receiving record, has played 10 games in 3 seasons. He's 30 years old. He is broken. And it's unknown now if he will ever be in any way reminiscent of what he was. So, if you're sitting here today and you're saying, Matt, I ain't doing backflips. I've heard this for 3 years from Michael Thomas. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and pound the table and yell at you and scream about why you got to be a believer and why Michael Thomas is primed for a huge year. Some people are predicting that. I'm not. It's not that I don't think it can happen. But at this point now, we've got a 3-year sample to suggest he can't stay healthy. I hope he can. If he does, I think it transforms this offense. And I'm not sitting here trying to poo-poo this, by the way. I think it's great to see him out there. It certainly shows that he's on track for what Dennis Allen has said all along, which is, they want Michael Thomas ready for camp. As a matter of fact, he said it again today. They asked him if he was going to be a full go for camp.
That's our hope and our expectation. So, I wish I had the crystal ball to say exactly what he'll be ready to do, but I think all our energy is focused on, getting him ready to go in training camp, and we're excited about it. Mike's an important, piece to our offense, and when he's playing at the level that he's capable of playing at, we're a much better offense.
He was an important piece of your offense. He's not anymore. And he'll never play the level he played at once before. I think that's got to be the accepted reality. The Michael Thomas at 26, 27 years old, who led the NFL with 149 catches and 1,725 yards and was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, you're never going to see that Michael Thomas again. Going into last season, if we rewind the tape, my hope, my target for Michael Thomas last year, just keep in mind, he had missed nearly 2 full seasons when he was coming back a year ago. And my thought last year was, look, you're not going to see 149 catches for 1,700 yards. But if you could see rookie Michael Thomas again, which was 92 catches for 1,100 yards, that's a phenomenal year. Well, now you go another season where you only got 3 games out of Michael Thomas, and he caught 16 balls. I don't even know that I could look at you today and say rookie Michael Thomas is a realistic expectation. Like, really at this point, what I want is, can I get 17 games out of this guy? Can I get 13 games out of this guy? And I don't know the answer to that. If he's able to stay healthy for an entire season, you could talk about a guy that's maybe a 1,000-yard receiver. Probably not, because Chris Olave is going to become the primary target for Derek Carr, and should be, by the way. Young, dynamic receiver, you used the first-round pick on him a year ago. That's your guy. That's your alpha. That's your one. Michael Thomas isn't your one. At best, he's your number two behind Olave. So I don't think you're going to see an offense that has 2,000-yard receivers on it. Maybe. I doubt it. But could you see a season where Michael Thomas has 60 catches for 850 yards? I would take that. I think that would be a tremendous bounce back for Michael Thomas if he could produce that. But getting healthy, staying healthy, producing is a big question right now. And it's not about OTAs. It's not about, as good as it was to see Michael Thomas out there today. Go back to where we started, like, that's not going to make you do a backflip. Seeing Michael Thomas out there for training camp, it shouldn't make you do a backflip. Seeing Michael Thomas out there for preseason games shouldn't make you be excited. The thing that should make you exhale and go, all right, let's go, is watching Michael Thomas, once September hits, out on the field Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. It's just there's a prove it factor now that has to exist with Michael Thomas. There has to be a healthy skepticism with Michael Thomas, because you've got 3 years to suggest he can't stay healthy, that his best days are behind him. And even if he stays healthy, what is his ceiling now? It's not going to be what it was in 2018, y'all, or 2019. But what is it? How close can he get? Well, a big part of that obviously is also going to depend on how much synergy he and Derek Carr have. By the way, Derek Carr did meet with reporters today as well after practice, and he talked about having Michael Thomas back on the field today and what that was like.
When we're talking the same language. And so, time on task and things like that, that'll happen. It'll happen quick because we're two veteran guys. Game reps is obviously the most important thing, but, being able to communicate, hey, how do you see this? Hey, how do you see that versus this coverage? How about this? How about, we've talked about a lot in just a couple of days. We've talked a lot before that, but a lot just in person in the last couple of days that we're on the field as things come up that, if he went out there and ran certain routes right now, I'd know exactly what he was going to do and I'd put it on, that kind of stuff. So it's just cool to have him in the building. I know everyone was excited to see him. Everybody loves him here. They love his work ethic. They love his competitiveness, his leadership, the way he plays, the way he practices, he prepares. And I think that's, from just on the outside looking in, he's such a worker that, that's probably why, sometimes injuries happen when you play that hard and work that hard. And you don't ever ask a guy like that to tone down. You keep going as long as you can, And so just being around him, like I said, you talk to him on the phone, you feel like you can win a football game with just you two out there, And being around him now, he just brings that energy about him that you feel the same way.
Love the attitude, but you got to be able to see it. For what it's worth, it just flipped that conversation. Here was Michael Thomas talking about Derek Carr.
He's been amazing. I can't wait to play with him and just be out there and execute and create something special with him, a connection, Just like the way he demands the huddle, the sense of urgency, just the way he handles himself. It's just, he's a pro. He's great for these young guys to see. His demeanor, just everything, just watching him from when he gets in the building, kind of like how Drew was. You could watch Drew from when he's watching film. You can learn from him. When he's in the locker room, you can learn from him. Anywhere in the building, you can just learn something different from them that makes them how they are. And I respect him a lot, and I'm always watching him and just talking football with him. He loves football.
Vibes are good. Everybody's saying the right thing. You clearly have leadership and veteran presence and culture in that locker room. All those things are there. Can Michael Thomas stay healthy? That's a question that we're not going to get answered in OTAs or training camp or preseason or anything like that. We're only going to get that answer as you go play out a 17-game regular season. I hope you can. Because if you do have a healthy Michael Thomas, it does, in a sense, transform your offense. It's like having a power hitter. It's like having Tommy White hitting behind Dylan Cruz. I mean, you got protection there. You got another option for Derek Carr if you got a healthy Michael Thomas. It changes your offense. So I'm glad to see Michael Thomas out there today. Glad to see him. When you see Michael Thomas physically there, you have fewer questions about when is he going to be here, when is he going to be healthy, is he going to be ready for camp. I mean, the fact that he's out there with a helmet on today running around tells you, yeah, man, expectation is 6 weeks from now, 7 weeks from now when they hit the field for training camp, Michael Thomas is going to be ready to go. Can he stay healthy? And if he can, how close to his former self can he be at a production level? And those are going to be answers we don't get talking here, y'all. It's only going to be however it plays out. So it was a step today. It was a very positive step today, but still a lot to do and a lot to prove for Michael Thomas and this entire Saints offense and the entire Saints team. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.